my name's Chad Walker. I'm the founder of Clientele. Clientele, we aim to save contractors time and money by providing them with the same level of transparency that their customers have had for decades now. What does that mean? Short and sweet, we let contractors rate their customers the same way that they've been rated for over 20 years, ever since Angie sat down and scribbled that first list. Now, why would we do this, right? Contractors are thieves, they're crooks. They steal your money, they leave your house in shambles, and they disappear, start a new LLC, and move to another town, and we've seen it time and time again. Well, it turns out that I, after my time in the Navy, was an electrician by trade. I was a card-carrying member of the IBEW right here in Orlando. Found out quickly residential was not for me. I went to industrial, had a happy life until my retirement. My younger brother is an Army veteran. He's worked in construction for 15 years and has almost gone out of business, I don't know, a dozen times in those 15 years, all from working for people who did not pay. And just from hanging out at barbecues with him and his friends, this is something that happens to contractors across all trades. So over time, I kind of have dug around and uncovered this nasty little secret, and it's the customer's not always right. They really aren't. As a matter of fact, when you work for the wrong customer, it's the worst possible thing you can do for your business. Now, as a contractor, when I walk up and knock on a door, a customer's had time to look at me on Google, maybe the Better Business Bureau, maybe one of the numerous Thumbtack, Porch, Yelp, House, Angie. They can know everything about my business before they ever decide to do business with me. I'm going in blind. And what is that going to cost me? Well, it's costing contractors across the board about 10% gross revenue just in non-payment. Now, what we found after interviewing thousands of contractors at this point is they're losing an additional 15% in opportunity cost. Now, this is when you give away your time for free. So when's the last time somebody paid for an estimate from a contractor? You don't pay for those. They have to give those to you for free just to get in the door. Or what happens when a customer changes their mind halfway through a job and a 2-week job turns into a 6-week job? Well, you can't just pack up your tools and leave, because what's going to happen, they're going to give you a negative review on your business, and they're going to impact your inbound calls. One negative review on Google will affect 30% of your inbound calls. But, 10%, 15%, total of 25, what does it really mean? Well, I went into our database and I pulled 30 liens from Hillsborough County in the past 90 days. Now, these are 30 liens out of hundreds. They total over $1 million. And, maybe people in Tampa just don't pay their bills. I don't know. I'm from Polk County originally. We're kind of good old boys. We pay our bills. However, in Polk County over the same amount of time, $945,000. But what about here in Orlando? Uh-oh. So now, with these 3 slides, you've got 90 liens out of thousands in 3 counties that total over $4 million. That's $4 million that contractors weren't paid for work that they completed. That's time that they spent going to the courthouse, filing the lien, more money out of their pocket. They have to continually sacrifice. Now, again, this is 90 contractors, and these are painters, plumbers, electricians, roofers. 90 out of the 250,000 plus contractors in the state of Florida. So at scale, you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars that are being lost with no real way to recoup them other than to go file a lien. Now, with these kind of losses, obviously 25% are going to go out of business within the first year. It's probably more. Over half won't make it to year 5. And a neat thing here in Florida is that most contractors are earning about 40% less than the national average based on their trade. So these losses hurt even more. And when you talk to contractors, because of the entities that exist, they just think, oh, it's the cost of doing business. What can I do about it? Well, any contractor worth their salt will tell you that you have the right tool for any job that you do, or you shouldn't even start it. So we built it. We built the Clientele mobile app. It's a mobile-first platform for an industry that's on the go. It's available on iOS and Android. We allow them to rate their customers on very simple metrics. Very simple metrics. Their character. Were they good to work for? Yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Payment. Did they pay you in the time that you agreed upon, in the manner you agreed upon? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Would you ever work for them again? Thumbs up, thumbs down. As a contractor, that's going to tell me everything I need to know about that person. Some, they don't care if they're paying as long as they pay. Some of the older guys, they don't want to work for a pain. They want to get in, get out, and move on to the next job. Our lien system lookup allows us to connect those reviews to public lien records. So now I can tell you if Jay Smith that didn't pay his bills is the same as Jim Smith, is the same as James Smith, who has 4 liens filed against him in that county. Now right now we're only operating in Pinellas, Hillsborough, Polk, Orange, and Marion counties here in Florida. But with our simple subscription revenue model, we're already cash flow positive with less than 1,000 contractors with almost 0 marketing. Our customer acquisition cost in our last campaign, which is myself setting up a Facebook ads campaign, is already under $1. We have 98% retention over the past 24 months. The contractors, they love it. They can't believe that they can finally do it. And we 4X our CAC in the first 30 days. Now, here in Florida, we've got about a $30 million potential market. That expands out to 150 when we add in the other 2 of the big 3, which is Texas and California. And nationwide, it's 5 billion plus with the 43 million contractors that we can identify. Different states have different laws for licensing contractors, so a requirement in Florida may not be the same as it is in Texas or California. But these are your plumbers, your painters, your HVAC technicians, your lawn maintenance providers. They're in and out of your homes and your businesses every day. And all of our competitors are all facing another direction. We're the only ones that are trying to provide contractors with a clear picture of who they're dealing with. Identify potential loss before it happens. You know, an old timer I talked to told me, you know, you'll never lose a dime on a job you don't take. And no truer words have ever been spoken. So how do we reach the contractors? Now that COVID's lifted, you know, we're going to start doing more conventions and things of that nature. Social media has been great for us. My company actually owns the largest Facebook group for contractors. It's over 111,000 contractors in a little pool that I can play with and ask questions and chum the waters and say, hey, tell me about a bad customer. Oh, don't you wish you could rate them? And I do it on a regular basis just to keep them hyped up. We've done just a few test hits. We've never had any resistance. We've exercised price points from $4 up to $29.95, and it's the same acceptance at all those price points. So as our feature set grows, we'll be increasing that price point exponentially, and eventually we'll be able to go to a traditional SaaS, so many searches for so many dollars. Now, I'm a Navy veteran. I had 10 years experience as an electrician before my health got the better of me and I retired. I've been involved in multiple software startups. My advisors are very strong below me. I've used fractional services for CTO, CMO, things of that nature right now. And right now, I'm looking for $500,000 to completely lock down the state of Florida. Lock down the state of Florida and start stepping into Texas. And that will give me 12 to 18 months based on my projections, 40,000 users, 4 million reviews in the database. And at that point, I think it'll have critical mass and we can just move across the United States. I was a contractor. My brother was a contractor. I know this pain. It was born from my brother's pain. He's the one that first said, I wish I could rate these jerks the same way that they rate me. And that's why we built this, because we want contractors to not just struggle to survive, we want them to thrive. So again, my name is Chad Walker. I'm the founder of Clientele, and I'd be happy to answer your questions.
It was a great presentation. You mentioned use of public records. What aspects of this are proprietary?
Well, the bots that I have are built specifically for me. Not every county is the same. So but when it comes to technology, proprietary and IP is so hard to protect. If someone changes one line of code in what I'm doing, any patent that I might have held is no longer. Now, I can go for a utility patent to use things in a specific way, but I've really been focused on building the ground support and preparing to scale. So I've spent my money not on patents, but on building the AWS elasticity that's going to allow me to scale at explosive growth. Early on, I made the mistake of dropping this into a Facebook group, and I had 1,000 downloads in an hour. And I am help at Clientele, so when people started blowing up my inbox saying, hey, it doesn't work, it doesn't work, it doesn't work, I said, oh no. So I reached out to them directly. Well, it turns out they were in Canada, and they couldn't input information because I didn't have the system set up for their zip codes and all that stuff. So The technology is not necessarily proprietary. No one else is using it right now. As time goes, I will protect as much as I can. And eventually, with our new data partner, we'll be looking to transition into a cloud-based machine learning environment where I can better connect records, like plat records into actual physical addresses, into Google Maps. So as a contractor, I can drive through a neighborhood and see what each and every single house is rated around me in real time.
Maybe just a quick follow-up, and I don't mean to take too much time.
Oh.
The competitive landscape, I didn't quite get a feel for what is the competition out here.
So most of the competition that is out there is really indirect competition. So the biggest thing that I push against is the understanding that contractors are the ones to be rated. They don't understand that, wait, I can rate my customers. No other platform allows them to do that. The closest thing to a competitor I would have in the market is a platform called Levelset. It has nothing to do with ratings, but they have automated the lien process. It was massive acquisition. I think it was $500 million. Procore acquired them. But they've automated the problem. They didn't create a solution. They just automated the problem. You still have to pay them $300, $350 a month to go file the liens for you. So they've taken that problem of going down to the courthouse, but you're still filing a lien that 80% of the liens filed in Florida are never satisfied. Never satisfied. They either just wither away, or a contractor who's strapped for cash will forgive the lien for less money than what he's owed, just so they can infuse some cash back into their business. And this is just the reality for construction and home services contractors across again, in our Facebook group, 111,000 contractors all over the United States. It's the same from town to town, county to county, trade to trade. It doesn't change. And it's, the 80-20. 20% of the customers are causing 80% of the financial damage in this industry. And no one's bothered to say, maybe you shouldn't work for that guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, question from me real quick. You said, potentially in a Shark Tank type environment, you were looking for a $500,000 investment. Could you go back and show what are your projections if that locks in the state of Florida? What does that look like from a revenue? And then what's the
the number for Florida is 30 million. So with that 500,000, I'm looking to lock in at least 20 of that 30, because I'm the only person doing this. And the acceptance rate for the product that we offer, I have almost little to no resistance. And again, moving into Texas after that, California, and then a national launch.
Hey Chad, down the road, you were looking at the ability to ride through a neighborhood and potentially single out a house that has given contractors problems in the past. Would it be respective of who the current homeowner is?
Well, so we match records in different ways, and we search for records in different ways. One of the biggest resistance points I got early on was, well, I'm not going to tell people who I work for. I don't want to reveal my customers to other contractors to come in and poach. So when you do a search in our database, you have to have 2 out of 3 data points to even search for someone. You need a name, you need an address, you need a phone number, you have an email. You need 2 out of 3 and any combination in there to lead to that person. And with our new data partner, very exciting, I now have data points on 98% of adults 18 and up in the United States that I can pull from. And that includes aliases, previous addresses, phone numbers, known associates, things like that, where I can really start to feed data into the machine and really dial in on someone that may have moved after they stiffed the last person they have. So eventually you're not going to be able to run from the data. I'm going to be able to see everywhere you've lived, everyone that you've wronged, and just shine a light. And if at that point, if you still want to work for them, go ahead.
Would it be respective of the amount of money that was involved in the transaction?
Does it?
Yeah.
So the lien will state, when I pull lien records, you have an actual PDF of the physical lien in our database. So you can see the amount.
Yeah, what if it's not a lien? What if I just cursed you out and you left? You're able to enter that.
So a contractor can enter their experience with that customer.
Gotcha.
One unique thing that we have in our database is, say if a customer ever does get on there, they hear, oh, someone rated you bad on this site. We have an automatic tool where if a customer disputes a review, it pulls the review. for someone to go in and check the validity. So if you tell me that so-and-so didn't pay you, I want to see a contract, and I want to see that you weren't paid. Because if they give me a cash check for that amount, well, that review's gone. And there are other punitive actions we can take down the road if we have continued fraudulent ratings.
So how does the customer have access to?
They can search themselves through our website.
Okay, gotcha.
I didn't want it to be a closed door where they wouldn't know what people were saying about them and then make up some fake account to try to log in and see there. They have Reddit. They can look up their names.
So you'll essentially become the Yelp on the other end.
Yeah, I'm the antithesis of Angie.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
Good. All right, thanks very much.
All right, thank you for your time.